Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Boink Studios, and check us out on boinkstudios.com, where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy Show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this is Tom Clark's Main Event. We're back once again here on Facebook Live. Glad you are with us. We're also recording today. The show will post on YouTube and is always available on boinkstudios.com. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. This is episode number 144, and yes, we're moving right along here on Facebook Live. We want to thank everyone for joining us here, of course, and for coming back each and every week. Much thanks to Heidi Ryan and the whole crew at Wrestling Rumors for giving us this platform. We do greatly appreciate it. So episode number 143 was WWE Stomping Grounds preview. We talked about the show that no one wanted to watch, myself included, right? And we offered up our predictions. But surprise, surprise, the event was not too bad. And in fact, it actually delivered much more than anyone thought it would. But now we're back and we're ready for another week of action. We got some huge news, folks, as we said before. This time, the main event is WWE news, AEW news, and Stomping Grounds review. Man, I'm tired. That's a mouthful, baby. Jenna, what's up? Happy belated birthday to you. Hello, Ben in the UK. Nice to meet you, sir. Shane. No, I didn't hear about heat between Dreamer and Heyman. I have no idea. Wait a minute. I did see a blurb, a headline somewhere. Something about Tommy wanting to kill himself. Am I wrong? Someone could look that up for me. I'm not sure. It wasn't recent, I don't believe. All right, folks. So Jim says, now, Jim, listen, do yourself a favor. Go watch it. It's not a bad show. I wouldn't steer you wrong, brother. Go watch it. It's not a bad show. If you can take a whole lot of Lacey Evans and Barry Corman, as is the nature of WWE TV these days, go check it out. But I highly recommend it. I say go watch it. All right, so let's jump straight in, baby. Head first, diving into the news today. The great big old news today that broke yesterday on the internet, of course, is that Paul Heyman has been named Executive Director for Monday Night Raw. Eric Bischoff been named Executive Director for SmackDown Live. Now, I was indisposed at the time when this news broke. Couldn't cover a thing. I was busy. And I saw the tweet come across on Sports Illustrated's Twitter account, and I said, okay, great. Another freaking general manager deal. Great. That's what we need is more heel authority figures on TV. Not seen this before. But then I clicked and read, and turns out it's the real deal. Supposedly these two are going to report directly to Vince. It's actually creative capacity. I asked around yesterday evening, and yeah, it's the real deal. Now, no one's quite sure when this is going to start. I presume right away. I heard right away, and then I heard a week from now or two. I don't know. But I would guess and say, I wouldn't be surprised if they're not talking right now as we speak. I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, this is the real deal. Now, I listen, I don't know how you folks feel about this, but I approach this with some heavy, cautious optimism, okay? Because at the end of the day, this is still Vince McMahon's company. It's still Vince McMahon's show, and as we all know, he's still calling the shots. So as long as that is the case, again, temper your enthusiasm. You know what I'm saying? Not that you can't be excited, because we all are at the prospect of WWE actually doing some good and creating some positive change. Yay, that's a good thing, right? But at the same time, grain of salt time, maybe, perhaps. It's okay to be excited, but again, temper your excitement is my advice to you. So Jeremiah says, do you think Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff will make WWE better? And Paul, you just answered Jeremiah's question, man. Reporting to Vince is the caveat. Absolutely. It all depends on what Vince will or will not allow. Now, Eric Bischoff of the two is the more out of touch, is what we presume. That's what's been said. He's not following the business as closely as Heyman has. Heyman's been there. He's been attached. He's up to date on all the current companies, supposedly, and the wrestlers and whatnot, and storylines, and not just WWE, but other places as well. Bischoff, maybe not so much. Is that going to affect what's going to happen, how it's going to play out? I don't know. I'd be surprised if it didn't, to be honest with you, but again, this is cause for excitement. Hello, Michael. What's up? Bischoff and Heyman will hopefully have a positive change, Ms. Lopez says. I agree with you. Robert says, I'm nervous for SmackDown, honestly. Robert, the idea has already been put forth that perhaps Bischoff was brought in as a scapegoat in case things didn't go well. But I got to be honest with you, man. In my humble opinion, I don't know if that would actually... I don't know. I mean, the world's full of conspiracy theories, man. Especially the world of pro wrestling. Full of conspiracy theories, dude. So I don't know. I guess anything's possible, but you would think that people would be able to see through that. You would think that Eric Bischoff would be able to see through that, you know. And Eric's been as full of crap over the years as anybody's capable of being. Call a spade, call it for what it is. He is a shameless self-promoter. He will make himself sound good. He will get out there and give his side of the story. Guess what's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Who wants to go around with egg on their face and admit when they've made mistakes? Now, he's done that. He's human after all. He's never come across to me like he was totally without blame. But there's been many times over the past several years where he has or has not taken blame for WCW, TNA, whatever. And, you know, sometimes it sounds hollow and sometimes it sounds sincere. He's a hard guy to read is what I'm trying to tell you. I've been doing this for a long time, but he's a really hard guy to read. But my personal opinion says they're going to try and run the company in the ground like they did other companies. I don't agree with that, man, at all. I don't agree with that at all. I don't believe that at all. You're entitled to your opinion. I just don't think that's the case here. Yes, Lance, I do know about the Tokyo show. From everything I've seen online, it was fantastic. But, you know, that's coming from a lot of guys in WWE as well. I mean, the fans aren't necessarily going to crap on it, so I'm sure it was a good show, you know. Danny says, I so much want this to work. Paul Heyman wrestling, Eric Bischoff, sports entertainment, both bases covered. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Dave says, this is all smoke and mirrors. Vince is never going to let Eric and Paul have full control. It's just an attempt to trick fans into thinking they're changing. Both will be on TV fighting over talent like Shane and Steph did. It's going to be the same old crap WWE has promised change so many times. I lied every time. This is no different. Dave is a bitter WWE fan. Hello, Linda. What's up? Dave, I'm not going to crap on you at all, man, because I totally see where you're coming from. Dave's bitter, and he's ticked about it, and he's frustrated at seeing the same old garbage. I can't disagree with Dave at all. Dave, here's my opinion. You can take this or leave it, man. What I would say is approach this with an open mind. Give it a chance to play out. If you're right, you may end up being right. Supposedly, WWE has no plans to put Paul or Eric on TV right now. I believe that when I see it, man. I think it's going to be way too tempting. And Seth is already on Twitter talking smack about Paul. It's not fair if he's still Brock Lesnar's advocate. So he's already sucking it in the storyline. Whether he was told to or not, he's already doing it. I would be stunned if these two guys weren't on TV. I say don't put them on TV. I don't think you need them to be. They can be backstage in Gorilla. Obviously, perfectly fine. You know, they should be. If that's their job and they're to be attached to creative and oversee it, I say give them the ball, let them run with it. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. Orlando, I don't know how... Orlando, good question. I don't know how closely they're going to be working together. I can't answer that. I don't know how closely they're going to be working together. With the mixing of SmackDown and Raw superstars, you would think they have to communicate, stuff like that. But to answer your question, I don't think any of us know right now. It's so early, and I've already written a piece on it. Actually, it posted today or last night on Wrestling Rumors. Go check it out. And again, I wrote another piece for this weekend's Chairshot about the Seth Rollins situation on Twitter. But like we said, it's just really early in the process right now. We'll have to see how it all plays out. But Dave says, I agree they should be off TV, but no way are they going to keep Eric off TV. He's been gone so long, they're going to put him on TV. Well, maybe so. What's up, Jen? You is here. Welcome. Do you think WWE pushing Becky Seth as an on-screen couple is a good idea or will turn the fans against them? I would not be surprised if it turned the fans against them. I don't know if they care right now because let's be honest with you. How many times has WWE presented a heel or a baby face and said, here's the person you're supposed to hate or love, and the fans said no or yes, and WWE said, well, we don't care, you're still supposed to hate or love them, so just hate or love them, and so they don't really care what you think, right? I don't know. I could see this thing going south really quickly. I could see Seth going full-blown heel at some point and getting drunk with power, as it were, and Becky trying to be the voice of reason and bring him back down to earth. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I think it's an entirely possible scenario. I got company right now, by the way. My cat. Hello, cat. If you're just listening to the show, you can't see my cat. Once I back up, he's going to get in my lap. because this is what he does. He's a lap cat. If you're going to get up here, come on. Either it's the boy or it's the animals, man. It's never a dull moment here on Tom Clark's Main Event. My guest star for today's episode, get up here. He's changed his mind, folks. He's going to go hang out with the dog in the hallway, so there you go. Let's see. I wouldn't mind if booked right means we get Andrade and Charlotte versus Becky and Seth. Ooh, Lance. I'm not hating that, Lance. I'm not hating that at all. But yeah, the whole let's take the real life couples and put them on TV and that kind of thing, that's, you know, I could take her to leave it. I don't really care. But listen, we all know WWE is all about the romantic stuff and the couples and the who's dating who and who's sleeping with who and stuff. And that's kind of how they roll. They've been rolling like that for years, man. What's up, Alicia? So yeah, they, Mateo's like, screw it. Let's talk about New Japan. Mateo, we're going to get there. Trust me. New Japan. All right. So real quick, right. Next week, the G1 kicks off in Dallas. Looking forward to that. Can't wait to see that show. I'm pining for some New Japan. It's been several days. It was the 26th show, right? Last time I saw New Japan, the main event was Taguchi and help me out here. Taguchi and El Phantasmo. There we go. ELP, as it were. By the way, if you're not watching El Phantasmo New Japan, you're missing out. The dude is straight up entertaining. Straight up entertaining. He's so much fun to watch, man. I kid you not. Go tweet, Google, YouTube, do his stuff, man, because, man, you will not be upset. Really good stuff. G1 will probably be the show of the year. I would not be surprised. Let's see. Where is Bray? The Fiend saw nothing on Raw. So Bray's like puppets and stuff and sidekicks were hanging out on Raw, like behind the scenes. I don't know what the frig they're doing, man. It's crazy. Christine says they need to juggle the matches better. It's the same wrestlers over and over. It's getting boring to watch. Triple H needs to run shows like NXT, NXT UK. Triple H, yeah. Well, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I'm not going to disagree with you, but right now Hunter's focus is NXT. It's what we're all being told. It's what we're all hearing. And that seems to be the case. You know, Bischoff will be on Raw, on SmackDown. Heyman will be on Raw, for better or worse. Sickness and health, I guess. Yeah, Taker and Reigns, Jen. Supposedly this thing with Taker was set up before Super Showdown. I don't know, man. That's the rumor right now. So, yeah, Taker and Reigns tagging up. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I've said for a few years now that it's time for Taker to be, you know, to ride off in the sunset, but still nothing. JD says AEW is pretty quiet. I think AEW is picking at spots. You think they'd be a little loud right now considering Fighter Fest is tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm a little surprised like you are. They are a little quiet. But you know what? They're letting this thing with WWE play out between New Japan and all this other hoo-ha that's going on. Jericho got a little involved in it on Twitter, which was nice. But Rebecca says, get Shane out of the ring. Well, from your lips to God's ears, okay? For sure. Yeah, they're moving forward with the Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose thing. You kind of thought that would happen, but I don't know. I guess they've never really addressed Mandy Rose's sexuality on the air, I suppose. But they kind of did with the Usos. Remember when she like had the towel on and stuff? I don't know. Like I said, I don't care for the romantic part of pro wrestling. I'll put it to you this way. As long as WWE is a company and the McMahons are in charge, the romance and stuff is going to be involved in the storylines. That's just how they roll. And I can't get upset at it because I know what to expect from them. It doesn't mean I have to like it. I'm going to tell you straight up right now, and I don't. But bat phone for Taker. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Yes, Triple H and the club rolling in Tokyo together for sure. Mateo, good question about Mia Yim and Ivelisse. Wow, great question. I hadn't thought of that, but no, I think you got a point. I don't know about stealing a look or anything, but maybe borrowing. I mean, you borrow from your favorites, right? I mean, that's sort of what you do in the business, you know. How many true originals can you say have ever existed in the pro wrestling world? The actual true originals that everyone else borrowed from, but even those originals borrowed from other people. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Aaron says, when are we going to see Aleister Black going to fight? I don't know, man. That's crazy. I mean, they're just sitting on him. And I don't know this for sure if Aleister's been injured or maybe been healing up this whole time. But why in the world would you keep one of your best and brightest on the shelf? With the stuff that guy can do in the ring, and my God, his charisma, you can cut it with a friggin' chainsaw, can't you? His image, his look. I mean, dude, no one looks like Aleister Black. No one sounds like Aleister Black. Dude is straight up money, in my opinion, or he could be, and they're just sitting on him. I don't know. It's insane. But it's WWE. It's WWE. Andy says his AJ Styles going heel would not be surprised at all. So, yeah, there's your big news, folks. Heyman and, of course, Bischoff. This story is ever developing. We're just getting started in this deal. You know, your boy here is going to be riding his fingers to the bone, covering this topic in the coming days, weeks, months, and possibly years. Who knows? But yeah, man, we're going to back it like crazy. We're going to cover it like crazy. We're going to jump in there, and anything that comes up, I'll let you know, and we'll go from there. I'm anxious to see what happens. We always say that WWE doesn't listen. They don't care. And I still believe that. I don't think they care what you think or what I think. You think they care? I don't know that they care right now, but it seems on some level that they are willing to try something different. And you know what? Kudos to them. I can't hate them for that at all. I think it's awesome. And you know what? It's different. Different is better. Different is good. Don't fear change. Sometimes change is good. Even if the change is old hat. Going back to the well again. It's renewed this time. It's like that. What's the old saying? You need to go away so I can miss you. Go off and learn a new hold and then come back. It's kind of the same idea here, man. Aleister Black versus Bray Wyatt. There you go, Jeremiah. I love that. I'm digging it. Digging it. Yes, it is hard to follow New Japan for sure. Black versus Taker versus Wyatt. Sure. And Black and Wyatt. I don't know if Taker can keep up with either one of them at this point, but you know. A 3-match deal between Taker and Goldberg. Johnny, have you heard that? Someone mentioned that to me the other day, actually, on a direct message. And I'm like, here's what I'll say about Taker and Goldberg. They want to do better than what they showed you. They want to come back and make amends for it. I can't blame them. Nathan, I missed your thing there. Let me try to find it. You heard how long they were talking to Eric Bischoff? No. But I'll say this, Nathan, to your point. I think it's awesome they didn't let this cat out of the bag. Eric's got no reason to say anything to anybody, and neither does anyone in WWE. I love the fact that this didn't get out. You know what I mean? I mean, it's cool to get on the inside and hear stuff and like, hey, Tom, guess what? You know, X, Y, and Z, and then you go right. I don't know. It's cool, but at the same time, dude, I like being surprised, man. And this threw everyone for a loop. And listen, this is not just pro wrestling writers and reporters and whatnot. This is how it is in the world of reporting, period. Sometimes a story just sits there and there's conversations had very indiscreetly and no one knows. And the next thing you know, it hits the news and you're like, wait, what just happened? This has been going on how long? And like, you would think in 2019, you wouldn't be able to keep a secret like that, whether it's in politics or religion or news or wrestling or whatever it is, or sports or whatnot. Dude, they totally kept it to themselves. You know what? I'm not hating it. I'm not hating them at all for it, man. I'm all about it. I'm all about it, man, for sure. Just, just surprise me. You know what I mean? Totally fine with me. Say this what you're talking about. I hope Heyman makes the iconic defend those titles. Well, Aaron, let me put it to you this way. I'm not a fan of the Iconics either, but I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. Taker wants to wrestle Drew McIntyre. Barry, I want to wrestle Drew McIntyre. Gotta make me look like $1 million for sure. Problem is, Goldberg never had anything more to show. He's terrible. Paul, it's your opinion. Paul's opinion is Goldberg sucks. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. If that's what you feel, I'm not going to attempt to change your mind. I've been a Goldberg fan for a long time. Is he AJ Styles in the ring? Absolutely not. And he never claimed to be. Goldberg is an attraction. He brings eyes and he draws money. And did I say that he draws more money than anybody else have ever had? No. Did I say he's the next Brock Lesnar? He should be? No, I didn't say that either. But I have my opinion on him, and so do you. We'll just leave it at that. Got to give Vince some credit for realizing he needs to do something about the shows and totally restructure how things are going to be. What exactly have they planned? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you. Good point. Good way to sum that up. So, folks, let's move to AEW news. Fyter Fest is tomorrow, as we all know. Or hopefully, as you know, hopefully you're going to check it out. I am definitely going to check it out tomorrow night. Tonight is the Ring of Honor show, actually. Matt Taven defending the World Championship. So we'll see how it goes against... oh my God, help me out here, folks. His name escapes me at the moment. This happens to me all the time. Let's just... Jeff Cobb. There it is. I found it. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. Sorry, folks. NWA part of Best in the World is going to be interesting as well, because it was supposed to have been NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis and NWA National Heavyweight Champion Colt Cabana versus the Briscoes. But Colt is injured, and this dude never misses any time. So if he says he can't be there, it must be a serious injury, right? So we'll see what happens. Supposedly, Aldis' new partner is a guy that just signed with NWA. I don't know who they're talking about. I have no idea. Someone told me it could be Storm, because he's only teased being a part of the NWA. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know how much of an announcement it would be, considering that he and Cabana had some heat, and then, he ends up taking Cabana's spot. I don't know. Be interesting to see what happens. All right, folks. So let's jump real quick to Fyter Fest, June 29th. Let's talk about the matches. That's what's going to be happening here. The buy-in, the hardcore match, right? Michael Nakazawa versus Alex Jabali. I can't say that I'm familiar with Jabali's work. I've seen a little bit of Nakazawa. I like what I see. So that's an interesting match. We'll see how that goes. Also part of the buy-in, the Best Friends, Chuck E. T. and Beretta versus SCU and Private Party. And the team that wins the match gets the first round bye in the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament. Why not just get number one contender? I don't know. Anyway, that's how they're running it, so we'll just play with that, I suppose. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega versus the Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid. That should be interesting. John Moxley versus Joey Janela in a non-sanctioned match. I'm not a Joey Janela fan. There's several elements of AEW I don't care for my own various reasons behind them. I don't really care for this guy at all, to be quite honest with you, but I'm interested in this match, see how it plays out. Cody versus Darby Allin, which I think Cody's going to let Darby go nuts as much as he wants to. I think it'll be a crazy match. Hangman Page, Jungle Boy versus Jimmy Havoc MJF in a 4-way match. That'll be interesting as well. See how that plays out. Christopher Daniels versus CIMA. And let's see. Yuka Sakazaki, Rio, and Nyla Rose. Triple threat. Interesting. So there's your card for Fyter Fest, folks. How are we feeling about that? Do we have opinions? Anything you want to say about AEW right now? Yes, what a debut by Garza Jr., for sure. No Luchasaurus. I know. We saw Luchasaurus at the Evolve show. We went to, was it Evolve? Yeah, it was Evolve. He's a big dude, man. He's bigger than he looks. You know what I mean? And he looks big. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm definitely going to watch Fyter Fest tomorrow night. Going to watch the Ring of Honor show tonight. There's always good shows here lately, man. These companies are really stepping up. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. So AEW, as we said before, AEW has been kind of quiet. They've got a huge show coming up, of course. They've also got Fight for the Fallen July 13th, I believe. Yes. So be interesting to see what happens there. It's going to be an interesting summer/fall for the wrestling business. Can we just be fair about it and be honest? Because, AEW hitting the TNT network this fall, SmackDown moving to the Fox network. We'll see how all that plays out. What kind of a difference or what kind of impact, no pun intended, is AEW going to make in the pro wrestling business? They've made a substantial impact so far, made a lot of noise. We'll see if they can translate that noise into continued and newfound success in the wrestling business in terms of ratings, buy rates, attendance, that kind of thing. We'll have to see what happens. A lot of guys I never heard of, but I'm going to watch AEW. Stepped up big for Don and expect a good show tomorrow night. Thank you, Dave. That's excellent. I love to hear a fan that's open-minded. Nathan says MJF has potential in that grouping. He's emerging as the strongest heel. Nathan, I'm sure you've probably watched MJF stuff in MLW. He's a gold mine. This kid's a gold mine. When I say kid, he's a freaking kid, man. He's like 23, 24 or something. It's insane. He should not be this good at that young of an age, but man, is he good. I mean, just talk a streak. Talk into the building, because people want to see him get killed. That's an art. That's an art, baby. I'll be honest with you. In my opinion, I believe MJF has the kind of personality and gets the kind of heat that The Miz thinks he's getting. And I like The Miz. Don't misunderstand me here. But I think MJF is a better, younger version of The Miz. That's just my opinion. Will AEW end up being all about the elite? Steven, it's a legitimate question. I don't know. I would tell you I don't think so, but they've not hit the TV yet, right? So we'll have to wait and see. Listen. You guys know how I roll, right? I don't bash anyone for asking a question. I don't bash anyone for having an opinion. Whether it jives with mine or not, I don't really care. You are more than entitled to have your viewpoint. And you know what? Let's have a discussion. If I feel that you're in the wrong, I'll tell you that what my side of it is. Go with God and take it, or don't listen to me at all. Totally up to you. But no, I'm not going to disregard what you're saying. I totally get where you're coming from. It's possible that you're right. I don't know. Anything's possible. Curious to see Moxley and Janela. Jim, so am I. I think Moxley is going to carry more than his part of that match. We'll see if Janela can step it up against main event player. I'm curious to see that part. We'll see what happens. Carlos says waiting for AEW to be on TV. Boy, Carlos, aren't we all? Just for the fact of wanting to see how it looks. So apparently Wednesday Night Dynamite is going to be a thing. Wednesday Night Dynamite. They supposedly have put in the trademark or the copyright trademark for that name. Nathan, help me out here. Is it trademark or copyright? Anyway, they've put in for it and they've got it, I suppose. So Wednesday Night Dynamite. So that's going to be interesting. MJF reminds me of The Rock. Richard, I'll take that comparison. MJF's got a lot of charisma. Trademark. Thank you, Nathan. Trademark, yeah. Is it, well, Dave brings up, is it Wednesday? Maybe it is Tuesday. Hold tight for a second. Let's see. I think it is Wednesday night. Yeah, it is Wednesday night. Because I heard the same thing you did, man. I was told at first it was Tuesday night. Everyone was sure it was. Now it's Wednesday night. So, yeah. Yeah, I think Paige will be... Well, Robert, here's my thought. Take it or leave it. I think Jericho will be the first champ because I think the drama will be in Paige chasing the title. I think they have the ability in that company, that very young company, to build Hangman Page up to be a megastar, and I think Jericho will be a gigantic part of that build, a gigantic part of that journey to the championship for Page, and I think he'll be more than willing to do the honors for Hangman Page when the time comes. But I think he kicks off as champion, does Jericho, my opinion. So, let's see. Mitchell says, because I know NXT is a better show to compete against. Ah, that's a good point, because NXT is on Wednesday nights. Yeah, I was covering NXT every Wednesday night for a long time. Yep, I agree. Jericho will put Paige over. Jamel says, do you think we will see a real change in WWE, or will Vince just be right? Well, we just covered a lot about that just now. I hope we see change. Do I think we'll see change? Cautious optimism, my friend. That's what I have. I got truckloads of cautious optimism. I'm drowning in my cautious optimism when it comes to WWE actually enacting change on its programs. We'll see what happens. Do you think we will get Kenta or Hideo in G1? Kenta is in the G1. Kenta is in the G1. He declared for the show already during the Super Juniors tournament finale that night. So he is in the tournament. It's going to be great. Can't wait to see a tournament. There's some crazy good matchups going to happen. Let's see. I think AEW will need to avoid relying too much on names from the past. I disagree, Steven. Steven, I totally disagree with you. I don't think AEW is relying on anybody from the past. Who they got? Jericho? How many XWB guys do they have? Jericho? Cody? I mean, if you want to count the Young Bucks who were there for a cup of coffee, barely, I guess. No, I don't see that at all. Listen, go with your opinion, man. It's cool, but I disagree with that totally. I don't think they're doing that at all. I think there's plenty of cats on that show that, not the majority, but a good number of pro wrestling fans and casual pro wrestling fans can be turning the channel going, who's this guy? He looks kind of cool. That's what I think. You know what I mean? Goldust, yeah, man, but I don't know if he's going to be a permanent fixture or not. And listen, this we always like to talk about WWE, talking about, the veterans are taking spots from the younger guys. If you don't think that's going to be said about AEW, you're dead wrong. AEW is going to be just as open for criticism as WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, TNA Impact, Progress, Defiant Wrestling, you name it. They're going to be just as open to criticism because once you open your doors, you don't not only let the supporters in, you let the critics in too, right? And all the riffraff in between, right? So they know it's coming. I'm sure they're bracing for it. And I'm sure they'll be ready for it. I'm sure they will be. Johnny says it would be a wise move for AEW to not put out so many pay-per-views opposed to WWE always advertising and pay-per-view 2-3 times a month, oversaturation. Perhaps, Johnny, perhaps. But here's my answer to that question. If it's oversaturation, if let's say the AEW in the course of a 12-month calendar year does, let's say, 8 big events every other month or so, in the total of 8 events. And I'm just throwing it out there too, because I don't know what the real number is going to be. And let's say that of those 8 events, 5 did extremely well and the other 3 did extremely poorly. Then maybe you go back and look at the model. But then again, if all 8 do extremely well or well enough to make their money back to some degree, why not just go more? If it's me, and it's not, because I'm not Tony Khan with his big, deep checkbook and pocketbook, right? But if it's me, that's how I'm looking at it. Just my take. Jenna says, I don't think Cody can take criticism. Jenny might be right. I don't know. I don't know if I see it that way, but you could be right. But here's the thing, Jenna. He's setting himself up as an executive now, executive vice president with his friends. He better be ready to take something, because it's coming. It's been coming. It's going to get harsher, right? Nathan says AEW could distinguish itself immediately with storytelling format, doing more video packages and out of arena shoots. Nathan, I think they more than want to do that. They more than want to set themselves apart from WWE, New Japan, and Ring of Honor, and everyone else on the scene. And I think that they will be looking for creative ways to do so, which is what I've heard. So, I'm with you 100%. Let's see. Steven, I get you, man. Yeah. They need to avoid it. I'll agree with you 100%. Will, you're right. We've already talked about Bischoff and Heyman. I'm not going to talk about it again, Will. Will? My God. I'm just playing, man. Yeah, so a quick recap for Will. We'll wait and see. Cautious optimism with Heyman and Bischoff. That's how I feel. Aaron says AEW needs Sting. I don't know if they need him. Would that be akin to Sting going to TNA from WCW after it shut down? I don't know. Hello, Tammy in Kentucky. Tom in North Carolina here. So there you go. There's some AEW news for you. Let's go real quick. Man, this hour's flying by, isn't it? Let's go real quick to the Stomping Grounds card. The results, if you've not seen Stomping Grounds, do yourself a favor. It wasn't a bad show. We all crapped on it because, well, listen, no one crapped on the talent necessarily. You know, maybe not specifically all of us, but the card looked like crap. And of course, after the show wasn't bad, everyone comes out of the woodwork. Oh, listen, everyone crapped on this card, but look what happened. Huh? All you smart guys out there. And I'm like, where were you people before? All the know-it-alls that come out after the fact, where were you before when the card was crap and we all knew it was crap? Where were you then? Because I didn't hear anybody then defending the card. Did you? No, you didn't. People are so smart after the fact, aren't they? Monday morning quarterback, Jack. That's the freaking truth. Everybody's smart after the fact. None of us knew what kind of show it was going to be. It didn't mean that we wanted it to tank. Did you want Stomping Grounds to suck? I didn't. I wanted it to be good. But I looked at the card and said, this show's going to suck because of who they put in the main event. Just how I feel. The matches weren't compelling to me. Did Stomping Grounds revolutionize the pro wrestling industry? No. Was it the show of the year? No. Was it the worst show of the year? No. I think that's what I'm taking from it. So there you go. If you've not seen it, do yourself a favor and watch it. Form your own opinion. Form your own opinion. The thing is, nothing of importance happened. Sure, the wrestling was good, but no storylines move forward. Jim, to your point, Jim, how often do they do that anyway anymore? How often do they advance anything? This week, it's Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins. What's going to happen next week? Well, it's going to be Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins. What about the week after? Well, I'm thinking Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin. See? I mean, they get into a rut. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. All the time. It's how they roll. It's pro wrestling to a large degree, but it's WWE to a massive degree. You know what I mean? So do they advance anything anyway? Jim, I'm not defending. I'm with you, man. I'm totally with you on that. Totally. I totally get it. Yeah. Yeah, Aaron said R-Truth keeping WWE entertaining. Yeah, well, a lot of people are saying that, and that's, I'm not going to disagree with that at all. I love Truth. You guys know I love Truth. I've always loved Truth. Yeah, Will, to your point, Stomping Grounds was better than I think we all thought it was going to be. Let's run down them real quick, shall we? Drew Gulak defeated Tony Nese and Akira Tozawa to win the WWE Cruiserweight title in what was definitely the match of the night. Very, very good match. If you've not seen it, go back and watch at least that match if you watch nothing else. Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch defeated Lacey Evans. It was what it was. I'm not a fan of Lacey in the ring. She's going to have to do a lot more improving from my perspective. I don't care about her in the ring. Very quick tap out. I guess on one hand you could say that she's saving herself, that it's a smart tactic. You don't want to get injured storyline wise. But here's the deal. How many times this makes she's tapped out to Becky? Is this twice or 3 times? How many more shots does she get before the company would step in and said, dude, you keep tapping out, right? I don't know. Let's see. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn defeated Big E and Xavier Woods. Owens and Sammy took this whole match, took it to him. New Day were pushed back on their heels, Jack. Had nothing to offer. Good match. But I'm saying, man, were they coming out strong. It was crazy. Ricochet defeated Samoa Joe to win the United States Championship. Joe dominated the majority of this match. Ricochet pulled out the win. I thought it was a good match. SmackDown Tag Team Champions Daniel Bryan and Rowan defeated Heavy Machinery, in which was the surprising match of the night. Because Otis, my God, Otis, for as much nonsense as this guy represents, and he represents the epitome of what's wrong with WWE booking, where they take a character and they say, look, he's a clown. Laugh at him. That's Otis. Otis is awesome. I'm sorry. I enjoyed it. I'm not saying he's the next so-and-so or whatever. I don't really think he is. Whatever. I don't care. But for this particular night, it was entertaining. I got a laugh out of it. SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley defeated Alexa Bliss. The right person won that match, my humble opinion. Roman Reigns defeated Drew McIntyre. The crowd turned. This is where the crowd turned, folks. They turned on this match. They were booing this match. They were chanting all kinds of stuff. WWE Champion Kofi Kingston defeated Dolph Ziggler. Steel cage match. The word coming out of Tacoma was that there was no big screens, right? So that a lot of the crowd couldn't even see what was going on in the match. Wow. How in the world do you not... I don't know. I don't get that. It's not a bad match, but there again, it wasn't match of the year either. But that's not me crapping on either guy. I like both guys a lot. So anyway, Universal Champion Seth Rollins, thank God, defeated Baron Corbin. So once again, we dodge a bullet for Baron Corbin to become the top champion on the WWE's flagship program. So... Steven says, I personally hope AEW does great as it will spur WWE to push back. Steven, I agree with you to a certain extent, but is that really going to be the case? Will WWE actually push back and get better, or will WWE continue to do it Vince's way because Vince feels his way is the best way and they'll live and die by Vince? In the past, you would have said that would be fine because Vince always manages to pull it out and always manages to save it. But I don't know if you can say that anymore. We've seen Vince when he's at his most desperate, and Vince when he's at his most lazy, and Vince when he's at his best. And sometimes all that doesn't add up to the most entertaining show you've ever seen. And I think we've seen him become stagnant. We've seen him get old, in my humble opinion. And no disrespect. Nothing meant personal by that. I don't know if I'm feeling it, man. Don't know if I'm feeling it. Alan says, I think Joe would be a convincing main title back. Well, absolutely, Alan. He's on his way to doing that. He's going to face Kofi. So there you go. Let's see. Lacey is worse as a ref as she is a wrestler. Barry's not a huge fan of her. So there you go. Lacey Evans. So I love Joe as well, for sure. Listen, I try to get to as many comments as I can here. Please tell me what happened. To the boss? You talking about to the boss? You talking about Sasha? Someone just asked about the boss. You talking about Sasha? You know what's happening with Banks? A whole bunch of nothing is happening to Banks. A whole bunch of nothing, baby. Sasha's still taking selfies, looking all sexy. Listen, no disrespect. If you're a female and you're taking selfies and you feel the need to do a hair flip and pose as if someone else is taking the picture, it's 2019. The shock of a selfie, I think, is pretty much worn off at this point. The narcissism that's attached to a lot of people when they take selfies and just the whole act of it just reeks of arrogance and, narcissism, as I said, and ego. A lot of that's, fallen, fallen for some people, and they're sort of used to it by now. But still, why are you still doing that? You ever seen, and I know you have, seen selfies where she won't even look at the camera as if someone else took the picture? Come on, what are you doing? I say this because I follow Sasha on Instagram, and man, it's a hard follow. I'm just saying. Yeah, Nathan, good point. Vince is old, and Bischoff and Heyman consider young blood for sure. Think about Paul and Eric getting it. Well, Tyrone, we've been all through it, my man. When we're done with the show, go back and give it a look. We've talked a whole bunch about it so far. I I like Nikki, Alan. I like Nikki a lot. I was hoping they'd give her something better than just to be Alexa's doofus, which is what she's going to end up being, because Alexa's going to turn on her eventually. Because she turns on everybody, and they'll have a feud, and you'll think that Nikki's on her way, and then Nikki will get buried or destroyed or something, as they've done with everyone's ever been with her. So there you go. Brad said they thought Lacey was going to be the next Charlotte. Not working, never will. I agree with you, Brad, for sure. Is the club getting back together? It sure looks that way. Looks like they're already back together. I don't know if Finn's going to join them, but that's one of the rumors going around. Well, she'll turn on Alexa. Alan, maybe. Maybe. We'll see what happens. I complain about it, but at the same time, I'll be honest with you, at least she's on TV. At least she's got something to do. She's on TV every week, just about. I can't be mad at that, right? Nakamura challenged Finn. There you go. There you go. So that maybe will be sowing the seeds, right? Orlando says he hates Alexa. I won't go that far, but I've not been a huge Alexa Bliss fan. I'll be honest with you. I think Alexa Bliss is the perfect package of style, image, of good looks, no disrespect, of being able to get over, of drawing heat on the mic, and all the stuff that WWE wants in a female performer. I think she's the perfect mix of all that. And I think that they've seen something in her from the day she set foot in NXT. I firmly believe that they've had their eye on her from the day she got there. So when she got to the main roster, they couldn't wait but to get her up to the top. Am I saying that she can't do it? No. Am I saying that she hasn't worked hard? I didn't say that either. I'm just saying you can kind of feel when they have their eye on a talent and when they don't. They've had their eye on her for quite some time, and they think a lot of her. I mean, you guys see that, right? I totally see that. Let's see. Mitchell says, I read that Ember Moon wants out. I've heard the same thing. I don't know how much truth there is to it. But look at Ember. Look how they ruined Ember Moon. And I'm sorry, they ruined Ember Moon. The first time I saw Ember Moon backstage doing that thing where they're walking from the parking lot to the arena, because apparently Raw started like an hour ago and they're just now getting there. My plane was late. What? They just pull up, and they got their bag and stuff. She didn't have contacts. She was wearing like blue jeans. I'm like, what's this? What? And then you saw her parents backstage and in the crowd. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, here's Ember Moon's story. I don't need to know Ember Moon's story, folks. Ember Moon had the cool contacts and the image and the music and the lights and the mystique and the imagery and the blah and the screaming and stuff. And then suddenly all she became was that stupid howl when she came out, like, wow, like a battle cry. And she worked so hard and she's injured. And she's going to fight back. And that became what she was. And I'm like, this is what you turned her into? What happened to the mystique? Listen, for all the people talking about Bray Wyatt, how come he's not doing this, not doing that? When was the last time Bray Wyatt broke character on TV or behind the scenes or whatever? Podcasts are different. Stuff away from the company's different. Photographs with a dude in the airport's different. I'm talking about breaking character in a storyline or on TV or on a pay-per-view, a monthly event or whatever. It doesn't happen. They protect him to a large degree. They didn't protect Ember at all. Is it too much to ask to freaking protect somebody these days? It never happens. It never happens. Jim says, wash, rinse, repeat with the women's division. Becky, Charlotte, Alexa, when healthy, do you really blame Ember? I don't blame Ember at all. Not at all. They ruined EC3, ruined AJ. I don't know about ruining AJ. AJ's still there, baby. AJ's doing his thing, and he's near the top. I don't think they're ruining AJ at all. Just read on Vince stepping down and hiring Dixie Carter's successor. DeMarco is smoking the good stuff right now. Dude, come on. Vince, what? Dixie. Wow. Yikes. Yikes. I don't even know what to say, man. I hope you're teasing me. Because if you're not teasing me, find the person that wrote that and suggest they go do something else for a living, because that's freaking terrible. Woo-hoo! Wow. Where was I? Oh, Alan, we've already been through Heyman and Bischoff, man. Cautious optimism. My 2 words for you. That's what I got. Who's knocking on Black's door? I say Bray. When in doubt, say Bray. That didn't rhyme. There you go. Ricardo says Tom Clark the hiring Heyman and Bischoff. Oh, wow, you guys are killing me with Heyman and Bischoff. No, the PG era is not dead. I think they could spice it up a little bit, but they still have sponsors. They still have investors. They still have people to make happy. They have some masters to serve. And as long as that's the case, no, they can't go beyond PG. Not very far. WWE doesn't protect black. Michael, you don't think they protect black? Have they done anything to make you see beyond his image that I've missed, maybe? Maybe they have. I think the wrestlers do more harm than good on social media when they put pictures of themselves with their girls and stuff. And when the girls put pictures of themselves with their guys. That's just me talking. Doesn't mean you can't live your life. But like Braun Strowman has an Instagram account separate from his character. So it's actually him. And I follow him. And, that's a little different. It's under your own name. It's your pictures of your family and stuff, places you want to go, things you do on the weekends and things like that. It's a little different. You're not calling yourself Braun Strowman. I guess I kind of see that, but I could right now, I could imagine some old timers I met over the years getting disgusted with that, saying you are your character. You have to live it. Live it all the time. I think we've seen the end of those days, but that's just me. So, Steven, they've canceled much of the November UK tour. I've not heard this. Have they given a reason why? Jim says rumors say it's Cesaro until they probably change their mind. Oh my God, Cesaro versus Aleister Black. I'd buy that for $1. We've seen bits and pieces of it, right? Jenna says, and he's on Tinder. Is Braun on Tinder? Wow. No, I did not check out UFC Fight Night in Greenville. Oh, that's cool. That's so cool you were there. That's awesome. Dude, Nathan, you and I have talked before about UFC. I would love to start watching MMA and UFC. I don't have the time. That's not a cop-out either. I just don't have the time. When I start wrapping my head around the possibility of writing about and watching and following another combat sport, dude, that's tough. Whew. That's a tough one for me, man. I want to. I don't have the time. Wish I did. That's awesome that you went to. That's sweet. I'm going to 3 wrestling shows this year. We're going to Clash of the Champions, WWE, in September, me and the boy. We're going to go July 7th to see Jushin Thunder Liger. I'm so happy about that, man. Probably the last time. I've never seen him live. This is probably the only time I'll ever see him live because this is last year as a pro wrestler. I'm so jacked up. Can't wait to see that. That's going to be a good show. And then we got front row tickets to NXT July 28th. I'm amped up about that one too. Can't wait to see it. Oh, Jenna, I see. Jenna's like, listen, I'm not on Tinder. Don't get it twisted. I got you. Is Buddy Murphy hurt? I think so, Toby. I think so. Don't quote me on that. Much as Brandon Allister would be great, I'd hate to see either lose. But Mitchell, here's the thing, man. Winning and losing is part of life. And it's definitely going to be a part of the wrestling business. Sometimes your favorites don't win all the time. But I see your point that both guys can either guy really handle a loss like right now. I don't know. If it's a prolonged feud where they can trade wins back and forth, sure. Not 50-50 booking, don't get me wrong. But maybe a best of 5, best of 7 or something like that. I'd go with that. I can't wait to see NXT Live, man. We got front row. That's going to be fun. So we'll have some great pictures, if nothing else. So that'll be awesome. Who do I see becoming AEW's first women's champion? I think they're all in with Britt Baker. Bye, Miss Lopez. Thanks for hanging out. I think they're all in with Britt. They love them some Britt. I'm just saying. Orlando says, I can't wait to see my boy to make the main roster. Who's your boy, Orlando? Who's your boy? You may have said it already. Yeah, Robert, I agree with you. Britt Baker, first AEW Women's Champion. Yep. What's up with Money in the Bank? What is up with Money in the Bank? I don't know, Stefan. Nathan, I missed what you're talking about. What sign are you bringing? Not sure what you're talking about there. Did I miss a comment somewhere? Oh, Orlando's talking about can't wait till Adam Cole comes to the main roster. I can. Someone said that last week, and I totally disagreed, and I'm going to disagree with you too. Adam Cole needs to stay where he is. I'm sorry. It's how I feel. You put Adam Cole on the main roster, they'll kill him. They'll kill him. He'll have a good little showing for a couple of months, then they'll kill him dead. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. Listen, just because I give you an opinion on something doesn't mean, God, Tom knows everything. He just wants to be right. I don't want to be right about this. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope they prove me wrong. But I think they'll kill him. Dead. I don't want to see him go. It's me talking. What's up, Tammy? Jim says, I see a Bray Allister match happening later this year. It's too early for both characters right now. Maybe you're right. But that's never stopped WWE before, has it? What's up, Corey? Welcome to the show. Sign for the NXT show. Dixie Carter reference would be great. Nah, man, I'll be in the front row. I don't want to do a sign, dude. If I'm in the front row, I've done a sign one time back in the day. We were going back and forth during the Monday Night Wars and stuff. I can't do it, man. Because if I did, I've always felt like a sign because if you've ever been in a crowd with signs, the dude in front of you and you can't see, or there just happens to be a guy right in your eyesight and you can't see the ring, like we've called security down before and said, make him take his sign down. Because during commercials, dude's doing this. During a commercial break, standing up with his stupid sign. I'm like, dude, you freaking moron. Who can see behind you? No one can. You're at commercial. It's unnerving. And when my kid was a lot shorter, you know how hard it was? I mean, I was having to hold my kid so he could see. Because he couldn't see. I was telling him, stand in the chair, boy. I dare someone behind you to say something. Because he couldn't see anything for the idiots with the sign standing up. Morons. Man, it just gets me fired up. Hey, Orlando, I wouldn't mind seeing the entire Undisputed roster there. If they do right by them, I'll go for it. Who you see beating Becky for the Raw title? Corey, I hate to say it. I don't know if they'll give it to Lacey. Would it surprise me? Absolutely not. Oh, I can't wear another shirt, Mitchell. They'll kick me out. Or they'll give me a shirt. You know how I scored 2 free WWE shirts? Me and the kid wearing New Japan shirts to the show in the front row. You know what I mean? I'll wear my Bullet Club t-shirt. He can wear his Tomohiro Ishii shirt. Front row, Jack. We'll do this the whole time. They do that too, so I guess it won't matter. But anyway. But yeah, we'll get some free. They'll say, well, let's take it off. We'll give you some free shirts. I'll say, do I have my pick of what shirt I want? What size? Deal. You know what I mean? I'll put the shirt on. I don't care. We probably won't do that. That'll be fun. Hello, Anthony in Danville, Kentucky. I like that. Just simmer down. Simmer down now. Guess what, baby? We have reached the end of a year. A year. Did I say year? I'm sleep deprived. We have reached the end of an hour. My God in heaven. What's wrong with me? That's awesome. Remember what they say, if it's live, it's not a mistake. Let's throw a few more out here before we take it home. King Will says, what's your take on transgender wrestlers? Well, here's what I think. I think that if a transgender wrestler, if a man, woman, whatever he or she identifies as, wants to become a pro wrestler, get the right training from the right people, earn your stripes, bust your hump, get better. Wrestle the best talent you possibly can. Keep wrestling the best talent you possibly can. Keep your mouth closed and your ears open. Listen, listen, listen. Every time you get in the ring and you're learning, listen, listen, listen. Work with people better than you are so you can get better. So you can glean experience and glean knowledge and wisdom off of everyone you work. Don't work people lower than you if you can help it in terms of experience. Work people better than you with more experience, more time, and smart wrestlers. Keep your mouth shut and your ears open. That's my advice to transgender wrestlers or to anyone wanting to be a wrestler, male, female, or otherwise, or whatever you are. If you're asking specifically how I feel about transgender people being wrestlers, go with God. Do your thing. I don't care. You know what I mean? I will like or not like you based upon your ability in the ring or based upon your character in the ring. If that's whether or not I choose to like or dislike your performance, that's how I rate it. I don't care what you are. You're all going to be open for criticism, as you and I are from everybody around us. That's how life is, baby. I mean, that's how it works. I'm okay with it. Totally fine. Yeah, why not? More the merrier. Jim says, will we see more guys staying in NXT? I agree. I believe so. I think so, yeah. Larry says, what's going on with Ospreay and Rollins on Twitter? It's not a work, but I will be honest with you here. I would not, thank you, Chris. I would not be surprised if there was a direct message sent from Seth to Will or from Will to Seth and said, dude, do we have a problem? And one of the guys saying, dude, we got no problem. Let's just have fun. And if you think that's not possible, you're crazy. All right. Did it happen? I don't know that it happened or not. I can't fault Seth Rollins for defending his company. I can't and I won't. But if he thinks he's talking in a vacuum where no one can see his comments and can't respond, he's fooling himself. Seth Rollins was born and raised in Ring of Honor, folks. One of the same kind of ideas he's dissing right now. Kevin Owens still wrestles in a shirt and shorts. Okay? So before you start ripping on people in other companies, maybe you should look around your own company. Air the dirty laundry of your own company. One of your top guys wears a t-shirt every time he's in the ring. He's hiding his body, folks. Kevin's hiding his body. It's no mistake. It's no accident why he wears a shirt in the ring. He's done it. When he was Kevin Steen, he did it too. You don't like what I'm saying? Hit the gym. Straight up. You don't like it? Hit the gym. Don't get on my back about it. I'm just saying. You're going to call yourself a pro wrestler, but you're going to wear a t-shirt in the ring? I don't care what you do. But I'm not the one that brought this up. Seth's the one that brought it up. So if you're going to bring up Kevin Owens, then if you're going to bring up a guy wearing a shirt in the ring, then bring up Kevin Owens. You won't because he's part of your company. I don't fault Seth for defending his company at all. But I think his defense is ill-advised and ill-placed. People don't attack WWE because of the talent. If you attack, listen to me. Soapbox. If you attack WWE because of the talent, you're attacking for all the wrong reasons. There's plenty of stuff to attack WWE on, and it's got little to nothing to do with the talent, okay? For every Lacey Evans and Baron Corbin, for every one of them, there's an Andrade, there's AJ, there's Seth, there's Ricochet, there's Alistair. There's plenty of guys that are going to step in and make you go, oh my God, did you see that match? That was amazing. People, for the majority of the time, are not crapping on WWE because of the talent. They're crapping on WWE because of WWE. Because of the dumb stuff they do as a company. Because Shane McMahon's 49 years old and in the ring and can't throw a punch to save his life. That's why people crap on WWE. Seth has got it twisted. But you know what Seth would do if he looked at me? He'd rip on me and he'd call me. He'd criticize my look and he'd say I'm whatever I am and that I'm an idiot that doesn't know what I'm talking about. It's fine. I can't fight that. I'm not going to get upset over it. If he wants to call Will, if he and Will want to trade punches on Twitter, have at it. We may never see these two guys trade punches in real life because Will has no desire to go to WWE. None. At all. He didn't grow up a massive WWE fan. He's not a WWE fan now. Okay? He just wants to be the best pro wrestler he can be, and I respect that. So no, I'm not upset about any of it. It's entertaining. It's fun. You know what I mean? Nathan says, I don't want Kay to go shirtless. Well, Nathan, I don't blame you. Corbin does wear a butler. What is that? Butler? Waiter? Yeah, you're right, for sure. So anyway, there's my soapbox moment of the episode. I'm getting to do this stuff like more and more lately. Hey, it's my show. It's my show. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Nothing. Nothing. Richard, I didn't say anything about KO's ability. You don't get it twisted on me, pal. I didn't say KO couldn't work. I just said if Seth is going to call out a guy for wearing a t-shirt in the ring and like covering up and doing play wrestling stuff, look around your own company. That was my point. If Seth didn't want that kind of thing talked about, he shouldn't have brought it up himself. I'm just saying. I never say anything about KO's ability. KO can get great heat. He's a good heel. Okay? I'm just saying, there's guys a lot smaller than him that got in great shape, and guys a lot bigger than him. Big Show got in shape. I'm sorry. Once the big tubby giant gets in shape, your argument's kind of falling on deaf ears. Whoever the you are or is, get in shape. If you don't want to get in shape, I don't care. He's still getting paid. What does he care what I think? So, there you go. Yep, Brad, he did move to New Japan for a reason. Or move to Japan. Yeah, you're right. He's a New Japan guy for sure. Baron the Butler. Who did it? The Butler did it. Yep, Strowman got ripped. Oh my God, Strowman got ripped. For sure. You're right about that. Yep, Seth did have words for Moxley. I'm glad someone brought that up. So, here we go. Ready? This is what he told Sports Illustrated. Ambrose can do what he wants. He's a big boy. He's got his big boy pants on. He can go out there and say whatever he wants, but the bottom line is not everyone is equipped to handle the rigors of what the WWE schedule and the schedule and how it affects you mentally and emotionally. Ambrose gave everything he had to the company for the entire time he was here. He put his heart and soul into the travel and the schedule and the injuries and the work and the ring and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, he took his ball and he went home, or he went elsewhere at least. I think it's a little presumptuous of him to get on a podcast and talk down about the company that gave him such opportunities, and he referenced some of those. He did talk about how he was thankful for the time he spent here and the fact that he was able to learn, meet his wife, and all that good stuff. Like I said, I love the guy. I love him. I'll always love him. But at the end of the day, we're sharing different perspectives about what we want out of life and where we're at in our own lives. I hope he does well. I kept enough tabs on him to know he's doing super well for himself. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, say no more. And I'm happy for that, but I don't think there's any reason to hop on a soapbox and complain after the fact. You need to take the first step, and that's looking in the mirror and asking yourself, did you do every single thing you possibly could make yourself and your situation what you want it to be? If the answer is yes, you did, then you can go elsewhere and complain. If you feel good about it, if that's where he's at mentally, then go right ahead. But if he hasn't done that, looked in the mirror and made that decision, maybe he should think about that. And that goes for any other disgruntled talent, past or present. So, did he really take a shot at John? I don't know. He sort of insinuated that John couldn't handle it. Moxley couldn't handle the pressure of being WWE superstar. I take exception to that, and I'm sure John does too. Does it mean they're going to start a war of words? Don't expect Moxley to run his mouth on social media. You guys know he doesn't do that. He didn't do it as Ambrose. He's not going to do it as Moxley. So there you go. It's interesting. Jeff Cobb, world champ. Joe, I'll buy Jeff Cobb as world champ all day, but I say keep the belt. Here's the thing. I like Taven. I don't know if he's brought anything different to the title than what Jeff could bring to it. I say give Jeff a title run. That's what I say. Jenna says he hasn't forgot what WWE gave him. There you go. Yeah, no, of course he hasn't forgotten. Jamel says, I thought that came straight from the company's top champ. Yep. Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. Seth is a company guy. And again, I don't fault him for that. I'm not mad at him for that. He can speak his mind. But if Seth's gonna soapbox about a guy soapboxing, how much sense does that make, folks? It makes no sense to me. But here I am soapboxing about the guy soapboxing about the guy soapboxing. It's like you're looking into a mirror, into a mirror, into a mirror, right? It just never ends, baby. There you go. One more and we're getting out of here. One more. Make it good. Somebody hit me. We're going to take this thing home. Who's going to have the last comment of the show today? Hit me with one. All right, going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. I need something good, folks. Hit me. Okay, Jamie, we'll just go with yours because I like it good enough. Will WWE survive if they keep the PG rating? Sure. Yeah, why wouldn't they? They're surviving now. They're surviving. You can survive on PG all day long. There's this idea that it has to be the Attitude Era. Let me tell you something. The Attitude Era is dead. Newsflash, it's dead. No amount of competition is going to bring the Attitude Era back. People talking about they need to bring back the Attitude Era. No, they don't. No, they don't. Okay? Let me tell you something. If you didn't live through the Attitude Era, you don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. No offense. No disrespect. If you didn't live through it, you don't have any idea what you're talking about. The Attitude Era was not this big romantic thing that the glory days, the yesteryear days of the business of WWE. It wasn't, folks. There was a lot of crap in the Attitude Era that it was infuriating to keep up with. It was embarrassing. A lot of it was toxic TV, in my opinion. A lot of it was complete crap. Throwing all this nasty junk at the wall to see how bad it smelled and how long it would stick there. That's what the Attitude Era was. I don't care what you say. Sorry, that's just how I feel. And I was there for every bit of it. Trust me when I tell you that. I watched every week during the Monday Night Wars, folks. Did I say nothing good came out of the Attitude Era? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, folks. Never said that. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, DX, Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, the transformation of the Undertaker, New Age Outlaws, all this stuff. For sure. Ken Shamrock, Mick Foley, Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love. I never said nothing great came out of it. Arguably WWE's best era of all time was the Attitude Era. I won't dispute that. But WWE has to change because the world changes, folks. You guys get that, right? The world changes, WWE changes. They can't go back to what they were doing before. And I'm telling you, you wouldn't want to see a lot of stuff they did before. It was hard to watch. It's the truth. It's the truth. All right. Man, I'm tired. So I think we're going to take this home. Jim says I need to be more edgy. I'll agree with that. The change with the Fox deal, we'll see what happens. I'll tell you the same thing about the Fox deal as I did with Heyman and Bischoff. And it's the theme of today's show. Cautious optimism. That's what I'm going to leave you with. I'm going to get out of here, folks. I got to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate your business. Remember, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday here live on Wrestling Rumors Facebook Live. Please don't miss it. If you got friends or buddies or even enemies that don't watch the show, please tune them in to the show. If we're not friends on the Facebook, send me a message. I will send you a friend request. We'll go from there. Thanks again for everybody watching. I do greatly appreciate it. Hopefully next week I'll have some news about yours truly, about stuff I'm doing from a business perspective. It'll be cool, hopefully. So fingers crossed on that one. That's all I got for you. We will see you next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.